Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Madals and this is... I was about to say this is WCS EU Challenger. Oh my goodness, my brain has gone crazy. It's because I have just finished casting WCS EU Challenger, and I've been saying that for the past 4.5 hours. Being, you know, an awesome time, and being, you know, super cool, I just thought, hey, I've just finished casting StarCraft. You know what I should do now? I should cast some StarCraft. Wow, these two must be really fond of each other. Anyway, spawning down in the bottom left position as the red Zerg player, it is none other than Destiny. And his opponent up in the top right, the blue Protoss player. It is SethN. So, a nice little bit of Protoss up against Zerg. Note that I have my profanity filter on for exactly this occasion. It's a bit awkward if you don't. And then they say naughty things and you're like, oh dear, they've said naughty things on my stream. YouTube is gonna be mad at me, bro. YouTube don't actually get mad at you. But I have this internal fear that for some reason there's a person watching this game who will be like, oh my, I can't believe that. That's sort of very, very scary stuff. These very naughty words they're using. Profanity, oh dear goodness gosh. I've really gone crazy. This is what happens when you cast for like 5 hours straight. Anyway, so Destiny, he is scouting. He is not making a spawning pool, he is making a hatchery. He's also scouting. Scouting, making a hatchery, scouting. And meanwhile, SethN is just like gas, gateway, and another pylon. He doesn't want an Artosis pylon, that would be bad times. Everyone loves a good Artosis pylon, especially if you're Zerg. There is nothing more satisfying in this fine world than sniping off a pylon that is powering everything and just being like lol. It's like, for example, earlier, I'm going to simultaneously name drop and sound like a douche because I'm going to mention Hearthstone. So, firstly, I was playing Hearthstone against Penguin from My Insanity, and he was all confident, being like, you know what, I can beat Madals, I'm going to crush you at this game. And then I 2-0'd him in a best of 3. It was quite funny. And there were some really amusing occasions. Like, for example, and this is the one that was like killing off one pylon. He had a legendary, he had a Ragnaros. And he played it. And he was like, what are you going to do now? And it was like quite near the end of the game. I only had like 9 HP on my hero. But I had a polymorph. And I polymorphed him. And it was hilarious to see his reaction. And then another one, he had 8 minions out, or like it was, I think it was 5 actually, 5 minions out on the field. I had none. I was again at about 6 health, and I used a flame strike or something like that, and boom, down went all of his units after he was gloating about how I was going to lose the game next turn, and then I won, and it was funny. Sorry, Penguin, I just have to tell everyone this. I didn't say it in all of WCS, but I'm saying it now. 2 zealots anyway, making their way forward. Note there is 4 probes in gas, and the Nexus is coming down. Destiny went for a hatch gas pool build because he is baller. He is brave. It's actually a really good opening against Gateway Expand. These 2 zealots are going to come over for the party. The probe coming as well. Note there is a sentry following this up, so it is going to be a more defensive play. Just going to try and force the cancel of this, but guess what? Zerglings and Queens both on their way out and should be able to deal with just 2 pesky little zealots. Warp Gate tech only about half done, so that's not well. So yeah, there we go. They had a quick pause, but they are ready. Note the zealots busy trying to work their way through all of this. Zerglings bounding, leaping and bounding down. They're like, okay, we can't stop this yet. We need a couple more of our friends. Can potentially do it though, if they just caused a little bit of delay here. The Queens will come out shortly. Got to make sure you don't lose those Zerglings. Just buy some more time. Time is the important thing. Only 4 Zerglings. 4 Zerglings with perfect micro can kill off 2 zealots. Can kill off a zealot, not 2 zealots. 2 zealots will take a lot more. The Queen is going to try and get involved in this, but of course, a Queen up against zealots will be a bit more tough. Just going to have to do the whole ring around the rosy sort of thing. Got more Zerglings coming out. Note there's 3 eggs here, all with Zerglings in them, so that's 6lings. Going to help out. The zealots now not going to be able to have too much fun, and only a couple more Zerglings go down, but all in all, this was a lot more cost effective for Destiny at the moment, so that's good news. Forge back at home for SethN. He's just going to be busy going about that lovely thing called upgrading. That means that if he gets more zealots, they will 2-shot Zerglings, and that's good. He also gets a cannon out, so he's just able to be a bit more defensive. It's quite a cool strategy. Destiny did not see that pylon. How did he not see that pylon? I do not know, but it's a little bit frustrating. Note the mothership core also making its way forward. The watchtower about to get taken. Destiny's like, whoa, I missed the pylon. Zergling's going to come back to try and deal with that. We do also still have the queen here. Creep tumor getting spread in both directions. That's so they meet up in the middle and then can go henceforth into the distance and live happily ever after. It's also the most efficient way to spread creep with the third and your natural base. Mothership core taking quite a bit of damage. SethN may have overcommitted here. That mothership core could very well go down. It is going to go down now. That's annoying. Quite a big loss. Zerglings are also busy taking out this here pylon. Speed already done. They allow the pylon to live. A bit prematurely putting out their Destiny. But he does now get us around on the sentries. That is good. Unfortunately, the Zealots are able to still close up the distance. The sentries do go down. The third one does manage to stay up, but it has no energy. A lot of force field to use with just a few sentries. Zealots also coming out behind us, and that means that these, well, the roaches coming out. The Zealots aren't going to be able to have too much of a good time. No, we also got the Forge and the robotic facility still busy working away. +1 chrono boosting. Unbeknown at the moment to SethN, though, is the fact... Oh, I hit the wrong button. I was about to say, unbeknown to SethN, luckily we only went back 10 seconds, is that the Roach is coming down. He hasn't scouted anything. All he knows is that there is a third. Doesn't know what's coming down, doesn't know there's roaches, so this +1 isn't going to help massively in dealing with roaches. The Immortals, though, that could be coming out of this robotics facility will help, though, and that's good news. So, for the moment, no third base. We've got Destiny here with that Overlord just keeping a good little check on it, saying, okay, what's happening? What's all going on here? Lair as well for Destiny is also coming down. He knows there's no third, and that's an important scout for him. He's also got an Overlord ready to start coming in just to get a bit more information. Get a little quick scout out. +1 armor is coming down here now, so just single upgrades and a War Prism coming out. Okay, so we're going to get some drop play here. Could be a sentry drop into the main, force field off the ramp, kill the main base. That's hilarious. Very infuriating, but hilarious. Still, though, worker count, 2 in favor of Destiny. It's getting a decent number of units out, but its drone count pretty low for the time being. Isn't supply blocked. It does have a good amount of minerals. Trying to work out what he's banking this up for. There we go, 5 drones on their way out, but he's still got more. He's still got 5 lava left. So I'm just trying to see if he's seen anything that would make him want to wait a bit longer. So he's going to come up here, and he does see the War Prism. That is. Wow, that's a good scout. So he now knows what it's going to be. We should see some units kept up in the main base. Hydrogen coming down, all very safe stuff here. 20 more lings as well. This is just going to do a nice job of trying to shut this down. So it's the third and the main that are vulnerable. The Nat is safe from drop play because obviously you have to go through a lot of stuff. But either of these, the third's probably actually slightly better if getting dropped for Destiny. Because it's a wide ramp, he can't get force fielded off easily. But the main base could potentially still be vulnerable. But he's moving Overlords nicely to get in a good position where he's able to get an advanced warning if the War Prism tries to go through. You also see... He didn't see the War Prism again, unlucky there, but this Overlord will spot it, knows where it's coming from. The Roaches keeping a good little bit of vision here. Until the Hydras come out, there's no real quick answer to that, but the Roaches just trying to keep an eye on and going, okay, where are you going? Units getting pulled up into the main, just so, if there were any sentries here, they couldn't force field off the ramp. But with only Zealots, 4 Zealots aren't going to be able to do too well against a lot of Roaches. Same time though, Stalker pushing back an Overlord here, big Zergling counterattack coming in. Speedlings running across there is always going to be a scary thing to see. The wall-off is very well fortified though, so this is really to try and stop a third, but there is no third base. There's also a couple more gateways coming down here. Of course, we do have the Templar Archive, but that's only being used +2 at the moment. While we've got a small move out. Would like to see a third or a push happening relatively soon though. The gateway count is going up to 6, so 6 gates isn't crazy. These 3 need to be made into warp gates. There we go, just as I say it, and that would all be good. War Prism getting out of there, no damage really done, 0 workers killed, resources lost, slightly more going down at the moment for SethN compared to Destiny. Destiny has lost a couple of Zerglings, but it's nothing that's going to make you cry. Third base still not getting taken yet, but there is a movement out here of units. The Observer coming too, just in case there's anything burrowed there. There is... Overlord dies, a little bit frustrating. Destiny, not supply block, but does need some more Overlords, which he does have in production. Destiny also only now getting an Evolution Chamber out, so that means his upgrades are a long way behind. He's really down in upgrades. 2-1's going to be done before this Evolution Chamber. Not before the Evolution Chamber is finished, but before definitely there's any upgrades for Destiny. And it's going to keep chrono boosting, which is nice. But Destiny has a very large swell of Zerg ready to move up here. He is going to close up some of the distance, but the Hydra count not that high. And with a lot of force fields, it will be more difficult to try and zone out the rest of those Zerglings. So, charge on its way out here. That's going to help close down the distance. Very nice. Still, very turtle approach here from SethN. He's trying to play it safe. The Immortal in the front there is a little bit vulnerable. Could get sniped down. Is going to get sniped down, as will a Sentry die too. Zergling's getting held out by some great force fields here by SethN, just zoning a lot of that out of the way. Back at home, Destiny only now just taking his 5th and 6th gas. He's playing very low on gas in terms of things. And that's really why he couldn't afford these upgrades. Getting +1 carapace. It is currently 2-1 up against 0-0. A very scary position for a Zerg player to be in, because the army supply difference isn't that huge. 67 to 92 isn't significant enough to actually sit there and go, do you know what, I can hold this. There's also 2 additional cannons coming out. But the problem is, SethN, he's holding. He's turtling and holding on, which is great if you have a plan. If you have something that's going to make you win. There isn't really anything here. There's not like, that's a game changer until the Dark Shrine comes down, which actually will be really good because there's currently no Overseers. Ah, there we go. 3 Overseers morphing in. Never mind. 3 Overseers on their way. That beats that one. Destiny's like, okay, you're on 2 bases. You've got to have something planned. You're turning so hard. SethN is now quite a chunk down in supply. He's also hurting economically. Destiny mining off of 6 geysers and 3 bases. His opponent off of only 2 bases, which is okay for a while, but it gets more beneficial for the Zerg the longer this game goes on, and unfortunately, SethN unable to secure up that 3rd Nexus as of yet. But Destiny is moving forward, the forces aren't down yet, there they do go. Speedlings coming and wrapping around the side as the best that they can, and the Hydralisk dealing a good amount of damage. Are we going to be able to see now a situation where Destiny can break this? Well, actually, Destiny's army is melting because of the lack of upgrades. The Protoss force dealing incredibly well here. Charge Bots sprinting their way forward, but all of Destiny's army dies. SethN now takes an army supply lead, and he goes to go and expand. That is a good time to expand because he feels safe, because he's just killed all of Destiny's army. Destiny gas starved, so he can't actually remax. He only actually gets within 10 army supply of his opponent. His income is still looking good, but can really do with a 4th. Destiny, even though he was a base up, with such a good contain on, could have easily have secured up a 4th by now. Very happily. He could have teched up to Hive, but hasn't done so as of yet. Just instead, hoping to contain his opponent indefinitely. But since that's now been broken, he will come in and scout that the 3rd Nexus. They're going to lose this Overlord for sure. And look at the upgrades. It's still 2-1, about to be 3-1. There we go, kicks in. Up against Destiny's only +1 carapace. This is not too good. Overlord, DT is running past the Zerglings, but there is an Overseer here, so should be able to clear that out. The DT is going to get seen, but the DT keeps running. No, nothing's been attacked yet, but Destiny is being very much aware of what is going on. Units got pulled up there too. In total, only 1 worker's died this game, so I don't think anything was killed by that DT there. Simultaneously though, we've got a couple more warpins. The 3rd Nexus nearly back up and running. Main base getting very low, so we should see quite a big probe transfer. But Destiny getting ready to come and try and shut down this 3rd. There's a decent number of force fields. 6 sentries are on the field, so that can zone off this ramp quite nicely if need be. But Destiny is running up. A lot of Speedlings coming into their death. Very dangerous. Sees the probe transfer though, so knows the Nexus has just about finished. If he was ever in any doubt, which I don't think he would have been from the timing of seeing it. But Speedlings have made it into the main. This is disastrous now. Suddenly, Speedlings are going to be able to do an absolutely huge amount of damage. Templar Archives has been seen, the main Nex has been seen, and of course SethN, he's got to try and make the choice. Do I go back and defend, which ultimately he has to do, but if he goes back to defend, he's basically saying attack my and kill my 3rd base. That's a problem. A couple of Zealots getting warped in, the Nexus will go down. That is a problem, because while the mineral patch was pretty low, there were still these 2 Vespian guys. The Zealots are trying to work through most of this. SethN able to keep up his 3rd base though, but he's gonna be gas starved. Even though he's got quite a bit of gas in the bank, don't really want to be losing that too much. More Speedlings sneaking their way up. The Cybernetics core is going to go down, and that is the only Cybernetics core. That's problematic now for SethN. No more Stalkers, no more Sentries. Not really what you want. So quite a bit of tech has been taken out. These Zealots are trying to clean it up, and SethN's still playing just so defensively. Destiny attempting to secure up his 4th. Meanwhile, obviously the 5th and 6th, which will now effectively work as the 3rd and 4th gas, are being taken. Some Roaches moving up this ramp to their death, unfortunately, but with a decent number of Hydras in the back, this isn't too bad. SethN not engaging, trying to get in a better position, but unfortunately, was taking quite a bit of fire in that time. The force fields are good though, zoning out a lot of this Zerg force. In terms of resources lost, Destiny is trading very cost ineffectively, and I would argue that his economy isn't so great that he can afford to do that. It is good, but it's not sensational. Of course, SethN looking to go for the counter push now. Bear in mind that he's at the 3-2 upgrades up against 1-1, both melee and attack upgrades researched to level 1. And only now is Destiny taking his hive. He's also mined out in his main base, so transferring a lot of drones down there. At a quick glance, I do believe that is 13. And he's going to just go and transfer them down to this 4th. Take up the gas, because that's what Destiny really needs, is a lot more gas income to be able to afford all of this. Luckily, there aren't any Colossi or High Templar after the Templar archives were sniped down. So at least on the bright side, Destiny doesn't have to deal with splash damage yet, which means that his Hydralisks are more effective. And before any smarty pants comes in there and leaves a comment, yes, I know Archons do deal with splash damage, but not as significantly as Storm or Colossi. It's not quite the same. So as it stands, Destiny, he's getting ahead again in the army supply count, but note SethN is less far behind than he was before. Only 12 army supply, which isn't too much when we look at the army value. This is the important thing. Note that the gas value of SethN's army is higher than that of Destiny's. That means generally it's a bit more powerful. It's got more bang for the buck. Zealot gets taken out there, trying to go for a little hit run down into the 4th base. Note the speedlings are also continuing round. Going to go and see if they can deal any damage. With cannons only now just being thrown down, if that had gone, it would have been good. But engagement in the center of the map, you see that in come those Zealots. In come those Archons. I think they do a good little bit of damage here, trying to focus it all down as well. The Concave good for Destiny, but SethN just has so much stuff, and a DT sneakily thrown in there. That does a ton of damage, 60 damage per hit. And Destiny with the nicely played. And Death with a Some people are getting outplayed all game long. Make them lost. But he's played well. SethN, he's played very well. The force he's done throughout this game have been very nice. And yeah, it looks like the GG will probably be coming soon. The 3rd hatchery has been taken out, and SethN pushing forward. The reason SethN won this game is upgrades. His upgrades have been fantastic. And Destiny tech late and got upgrades late. So anyone wondering, it's not because Protoss is OP, but if you want to spam me with 100 comments saying that, do so. It's just because of upgrades. Upgrades are good, especially 20 minutes into the game. It allows you to be very cost effective. Actually, I'm going to show that again. This is the cost efficiency. 25,000 resources lost by Destiny compared to just 12,500 from SethN. That is why upgrades are important, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new cast. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.